In the previous lesson, we looked at all the really cool filters that Vue has built in. So what happens if it doesn't exactly have the filter that you want to use? So we've got a lot of really good filters, but we want something different to happen with our output, and we want to apply a custom-made filter. So I'm going to show you how to do that within this lesson, and I'm going to remove some of this padding because it's taking up a little bit too much space. So we have an option, just as what we looked at before, where we can look at values, view content globally, or we could look at it directly within that Vue instance. So I'm going to show you how to create a filter, a global filter, and this is going to be available outside of this Vue instance. So we're going to be able to use it on any Vue instance that we want. So sometimes if you want to create a bunch of these global pieces of functionality and just bring that into any one of your Vue projects, this would be the way to do that, to create these globally. And of course you can create these locally as well. You could do something like filter and go from there as well. So it's going to be the same effect, but this allows you to use it over and over again. So I'm going to create one filter that's actually going to reverse the text. So this is going to be really easy and straightforward, where we're passing through that value in the filter and we're returning something else. So maybe initially what I'll show you is that we're going to just apply that filter. So and then what we're going to do is we're actually going to work with those values and return something different with it. So if I want to return hello with each plus the value, so I'll show you how to do that. So let's open up our browser, and we see that now we've applied that filter, we've added in hello to each and every one of these items here. So that's one way to apply filters, because we can really build this out and have a whole ton of information here that we can utilize with our filter. So if we want to actually take this filter and do something different to it, so if we had a bunch of numbers here, so these IDs, and we want to add one or something like that, we're going to do add one. So this is going to take that value and it's going to add one to that value, and so I'm going to add in pipe and the filter name. So let's show you what happens here. So now it automatically adds the one there, and the one I'm going to show you here is that we're just going to reverse this value, and we're just going to do a simple JavaScript functionality where we're splitting it, that input, and we're just going to apply a reverse, and then we're going to join it back together and just join it via spacing. So let's see how this turns out. So now whenever we refresh it, we see that now we've applied our custom filter and we're actually reversing those string values that are coming in. And that's how we create custom filters. And this gives us the ability to do some really cool stuff with our values as we're pulling them in. And the one thing to remember here is that we've got an option here to pass additional information here within these filters. So if I've got the add one filter, and let's say I wanted to add 5 to it or something like that. So I want to do add one, and I've got value and val. So now I can utilize that val and just console log this out as it's going through, and refresh, and we'll take a look at this, and we see that we get this value of 5 that gets passed through, and then we're actually able to utilize it. And that's how we can add additional information to this reverse. So if I want to add the word reversed or something like that, or if I want to pass a value from that input ID or whatever we want to do, so maybe I actually want to maybe pass this ID over, that input ID. So I'm going to add a second value there, call it val again, and I'm going to join in and have value there. So now we're going to get these values passed through, and added to the end. And this is how we can pass through dynamic arguments. And this is another really cool thing about Vue is this gives us this ability to create these custom filters, pass through values into them, and then of course these are global filters, so we could create it in a separate JavaScript file and call it into any one of our projects, that we could have all of these custom really cool built filters and utilize them in any one of our JavaScript, our Vue projects.